Misadventures. It's finally here. It's been quite a long journey. Can you talk us through it? Because obviously, I know you talked about it coming out in 2014 and 2015. So just how's it been?
It's been 84 years.
Yeah, it's been 84 years. We finally did it. Yeah, long time coming.
Yeah. We it was a long, crazy process. I think that's why we called it Misadventures, because it was such a wild time in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And we started off thinking we were going to do this record in like a couple months, and it ended up just like we took a long time in the studio to make the music, and then we were just there for so long. We ended up having tours coming up, so we actually broke up the whole process with a world tour right in the middle of recording our album.
Mm-hmm.
And then we after that I went on like a journey to work on all the lyrics, and I lived in all kinds of different places. I lived in like different Airbnbs down in Southern California. I lived in this like cabin for a while. And then I worked at a lot of really cool studios, and then I ended it all by taking a trip up to Seattle, and I stayed in Seattle for like a week, and I finished the last few songs just went up there by myself to write and try and finish the record, and that's where we finished it up.
Finally did it.
And then so after it was all written, went back to Long Island, recorded it all, mixed it up. It was just such a crazy
process,
journey,
yeah.
and
we had this plan that didn't go as planned at all.
but it was really all about just us wanting to make the record the best that it could be, and we felt that we weren't ready to put it out when we did it. When we went in the first time into the studio, we were just like, we're not there yet. We gotta make sure we top the last one, so.
So did that menu end up with a crazy amount of songs to pick from, or was it more just refining and changing?
It was, more refining. We actually had to cut 2 songs in the very beginning that we weren't expecting to cut.
Yeah, ones that he wrote.
The one that I, the ones that, we just had these 2 songs that weren't, gonna.
They were horrible.
They just didn't feel right, and they were my songs. But yeah, so we ended up having to do. That was the first time we've actually had written anything from scratch, So obviously, like I said earlier, we had a plan that really didn't go,
Yeah.
So
here we are.
And we're here.
How did you want the record to move on from Collide with This Guy? How did you want it to change?
I think just a natural progression of us.
We just kind of saw whatever we could make. I think with every record we don't really set out to have a specific idea of what the songs are going to sound like. We just wanted to continue to feel good about what we were doing, and this one in particular, I think we just keep setting that bar higher, and we just keep driving ourselves crazy, trying to write, the best sounding stuff, the best, best sounding album as far as sonically even. We tried to push our boundaries.
That was a huge part of the beginning of making the record, and working with Dan, I think, helped us achieve all that stuff, just because he's so good at getting all that.
Dan who? Dan Aykroyd?
Dan Corniff.
Okay.
Danny Boy.
So, I mean, he worked with you last time, obviously, again. What is it about him that makes him so special for you as a producer?
He's very attractive.
I think his looks, definitely.
His looks.
That's it, his looks. He's very pleasant to look at.
No, just his work ethic, and just the guy himself. He's just such a solid dude, and
he loves making music.
Yeah, we've worked with producers in the past who have just not pushed our boundaries and not pushed themselves.
They do the bare minimum kind of stuff, and we always were like, okay. It felt like a job for them.
We always dreamed about having that producer who is our guy, who's the dream maker, who can make everything happen, and we feel like we found that in Dan. If we bring him ideas, he can bring them to life, and we can have confidence in that.
Yeah. He thinks of them as his babies too. Everything we put in, he puts in as much or more. So it's this. Everyone's working together for the same thing. So. Yeah.
Can you sum up the album lyrically? I mean, what kind of record is it, and what inspired you at this time?
It's all about this guy right here. Secretly.
My big nose.
I'm revealing it on camera now.
There it is.
They're all about you.
They're all about you.
Really, I think that was another thing about this record. We wanted each song to have a story behind it, and so each song I could tell you, a whole story about where it happened, when it happened, who it was about, and yeah, I think each one has, you know, a deep meaning to me, and that was one of the things I was sort of searching for with this record. I think that's why I did a lot of traveling and kind of wanted to make sure that, you know, every time I sing these songs that I feel something really strong, and yeah, that's what I wanted to nail, you know.
And you told us why you called it Misadventures, but was it always called Misadventures, or were there any other titles that kind of came and went?
We had working titles, but I think
It was
that
gonna be Maps and Misadventures, right?
yeah, I think that one just summed it up. Like I think when we kind of came to that, we were like, that's perfect. It just makes the most sense. But we had, I mean,
What were some of the titles that didn't make it, huh?
We just were gonna call it Greatest Hits.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that didn't fly.
That didn't fly. We're gonna call it Jaime's Wet Hot Summer.
Yeah.
Wasn't gonna fly.
It's real close.
I mean,
Wasn't Grammy Hits one of them?
Grammy Hits. Grammy selection for best.
Grammy Jams.
Grammy Jams. We're gonna call it. Granny Jams was one of them.
Yeah.
I had a
Granny?
Granny Jams. That's from my grandma. I mean, but
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm glad we stuck.
Misadventures felt
felt-
like that.
that one felt like the most, the least offensive one.
Yeah. I mean, when you hear the other ones, and
Yeah.
you hear Misadventures,
I mean,
it just makes it sound a little
Yeah.
Granny Jams.
even better.
I still like Granny Jams.
Yeah, the Granny Jams.
So of all the songs on the album, which one took the most to get right?
I
man.
think Today I Saw the Whole World was a really
Tough one.
crazy one because the chorus riff, you know, it's not to get too technical, but the chorus riff is like this kind of Rage Against the Machine-y kind of sounding riff that I couldn't figure out how to sing to, and yeah, I tried like a million different things, and I ended up using the first thing that I started with. But
That's how it always works.
yeah, yeah. But
We like to exhaust every possible way, and then we can figure out what
Then we
we
go
like.
back to
Then we
the
can go.
first idea.
Yeah, we just gotta make sure that that's the best idea. That's just how our vibe is. So.
yeah.
You're back in the UK later this year for some big shows.
Mhm.
What can everyone expect from them?
A lot of heat.
A lot of heat. We're gonna bring the heat.
Hot.
Is what we're gonna
come
do.
in. We're gonna come in so hot.
Hot.
Well, we start the tour.
We just talk about
Yes,
how hot
heat,
it's
lot
gonna
of
be.
heat.
It's gonna
We're
be
gonna
hot.
be so hot.
Room's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
The rooms are gonna be real hot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
I think we're gonna be playing in London. We get to play Brixton, so we're really excited for that. I know it's a huge venue, iconic, big time. You know, like
Oh, big time, huh?
it's a big time. So for us, I think being able to do it for the very first time is gonna be something special,
Yeah.
something real fierce.
Yeah, I think we're really excited to play a lot of new songs because, you know, I think our fans have been waiting a really long time for new music.
Mhm.
And, you know, we also haven't toured over here in a long time, so,
Yeah.
you know, it's a
Just-
big opportunity for us
Just
to,
a good, solid headline run.
yeah, to put on, you know, our own show, which we've been trying to do here for a long time, and to be able to, you know, bring what we do at home over here. So